Israel agrees to send negotiators to Qatar to discuss a truce in fighting in the Gaza Strip and for the return of the remaining hostages.
Belarus holds local and parliamentary elections, but the opposition urges voters to boycott it, saying it'll be rigged.
Israel's war cabinet approved on Saturday night for the continuation of peace talks and the envoy of negotiators to Qatar to discuss securing a ceasefire in the war against Hamas and the return of hostages being held in Gaza. The delegation met in Paris with mediators from the US, Qatar and Egypt. The Israeli government will gather in the coming days to approve operational plans for action in Rafah, including details on the evacuation of civilians, according to Netanyahu. Meanwhile, the other areas of the Strip will be revisited by IDF soldiers who will be conducting extended searches for hostages and Hamas leaders. In Tel Aviv, late Saturday, an anti-government protest calling on Netanyahu's government to resign turned violent, resulting in police using a water cannon to disperse the crowds, as some held posters blaming Netanyahu for the 7th of October Hamas attack. The European left chooses an almost unknown leading candidate for the European elections in June at a closed assembly in Slovenia. Austrian Walter Bayer, the party's current president, has never been an MEP and is virtually unknown in European politics.
Frankly speaking, Europe is not only Brussels. Europe is 27 nations, and it is hundreds of cities, and it is millions of citizens. And the European left and the Spitzenkandidat wants to be the voice of these people, of which the voices are very rarely heard in Brussels.
Bayer will compete with candidates such as the current president of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, or the socialist Nicola Schmidt. But the electoral prospects for the left are not looking good. The party comes into the European elections highly divided. A memorial named the Cross of Heroes to honor those who fell for Ukraine was unveiled on Saturday in the town of Vyshovod near Kyiv. The glass installation was primarily funded by the church and public groups. As Kyiv received an unseen number of foreign officials, President Zelensky thanked them for their support.
When the world's leading democracies are truly determined, this determination overcomes all challenges. And we have already achieved much, and the world feels that Putin can lose this war.
Meanwhile, Germany's Annalena Baerbock met with her counterpart, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, Dmytro Kuleba, in Odessa, the port city which is constantly being targeted by Russian airstrikes, the latest of which hit the city just hours before the visit.
Polls have opened in Belarus's parliamentary and local elections, but few voters are in any doubt that their authoritarian leader, Alexander Lukashenko, will have rigged the vote in his favour. He's ruled for nearly 3 decades, and on Sunday announced that he'll be running for the presidency again next year. The main opposition leader, Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, remains in exile in neighbouring Lithuania after challenging Lukashenko in the 2020 presidential election, and she's urged voters to boycott these elections. The UK and the United States said on Sunday they've hit Houthi targets in Yemen 18 times, targeting missiles, launchers, rockets, drones and air defence systems. The Houthi rebels have been attacking merchant shipping in the Red Sea since November in protest at Israel's assault on Gaza. On Sunday, a Houthi military spokesman said the American oil tanker Torm Thor had been targeted with naval missiles and a number of US warships had been targeted with drones. The attacks have disrupted global trade, forcing a lot of shipping to take the longer route around Africa to get their cargo from Asia to Europe and beyond. And they've now drawn in the militaries of Australia, Bahrain, Canada, Denmark, the Netherlands and New Zealand to fight against them. The Houthis, meanwhile, are allies with Iran,